Of all the ways to play video games, sometimes you just need to go one step further than what the developers intended. Coming in the form of world-breaking boundary jumps that let players explore further than they were supposed to, or maybe access lives or ammunition in a way that breaks the game, some of the fondest memories in gaming can come from communal chaos in code form. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video game exploits we all used. Number 8. Sword flying. Halo 2. The glory days of Xbox Live were a furtive time for experimentation across titles like Burnout 3 Takedown and Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, but it was Halo 2 that became a runaway must-play. Bungie's middle installment might have ended its campaign on a disappointing cliffhanger, but seeing console owners play their first FPS online, that was something truly special. Scores of exploits emerged just from the sheer amount of people playing and experimenting with what was on offer. There were those who zipped around the map at light speed thanks to a lag glitch brought on by blipping their connection, but by far the most fun and widely used was sword flying. Done by targeting someone while equipping their energy sword from close range and then cancelling the lunge before you kill them, you could use this exploit to reach higher and higher planes, eventually escaping some levels altogether. Discovering just how much of these environments were coded as usable surfaces was genuinely mind-blowing and something that only elevated how much fun Halo 2 Online could be. Number 7. Baskets on heads. The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim. A trick so good Bethesda included it in every version of Skyrim. Props to whoever figured out that every merchant in Tamriel has an active vision cone and that it can be obscured. Obscured by what, you ask? Your incredibly deft skills as a thief? Nope, just a basket. Any basket-shaped item will do, as you need to hold the right stick to grab it, then awkwardly place the basket on a merchant's head. They won't react no matter how stupid this setup looks, but once your basket is in place, you're free to rob the place blind. Merchants can't report crimes they can't see, and Bethesda never coded any animation or realization on their side to remove the obstacle. If you want to make money fast in Skyrim, sure, you can endlessly smith daggers to get the Daedric armor, or you can run around with a dedicated Wicker accomplice and make a mint in half the time. Number 6. The Javelin Glitch. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It wasn't just Halo players banking thousands of hours into their franchise of choice, finding bugs the game's testers just never got round to. Oh no. When Modern Warfare 2 capitalized on the original's hype by being an even more streamlined adrenaline rush of perks and unlockables, it meant millions of players were subjected to the nefarious Javelin Glitch, because to be honest, it was so damn easy to do. Performed by having the Javelin rocket launcher as your secondary weapon, holding the grenade button with it equipped and then switching back to your primary, if you then died, you'd light up the whole area in a ginormous explosion, racking up a huge kill count in the process. Back in 2009, PlayStation and Xbox weren't as on it with hotfixes or fast-tracked patches, and the Javelin glitch ran rampant across Modern Warfare 2's entire launch month. It got so bad Microsoft were giving out 24-hour suspensions to those caught doing the glitch, but come mid-December, Infinity Ward finally provided a fix. Number 5. Item duplication. Final Fantasy VII. We all like to pretend that old-school pre-social media gaming was this dog-eat-dog hellscape where only the most dedicated and proficient players could survive. In Final Fantasy VII's case, sure, there's a big reliance on grinding to see the story through and beat optional bosses like Emerald, Ruby, or Diamond Weapon, but a lot of the fandom embraced an item duplication glitch to help themselves along. Done by equipping the W item materia, meant to let you use 2 items at once, selecting a first item and immediately backing out in battle just duplicates it instead. You can absolutely break the game this way and remove all challenge, using W item to duplicate rare materia, meaning your party casts one spell on every enemy at once, heals everybody instantaneously, counters automatically, and or triggers a summon on death if all else fails. Honestly, even though it's 100% exploitable, to me all this stuff just makes Final Fantasy VII's original materia system even more fun. Number 4. Turtle tipping. Super Mario Bros. The original Super Mario is obviously gaming royalty, obviously an essential play, and obviously one of the most influential games of all time. It's also obviously pretty damn hard in spots, and as the technology of 1985 didn't especially allow for quick saving or any actual way to record your progress whatsoever, if you were gonna defeat Bowser and find Princess Peach, you were doing that in one run. As such, you need all the lives you can get, and players have forever embraced the notion of turtle tipping. Still doable in the NES Classic version of Super Mario or the one you get as part of Nintendo Switch Online, turtle tipping can be done in World 3-1 by flipping the second Koopa on the stairs and repeatedly jumping on its upturned shell. For whatever reason, get the placement right and each successful bounce that doesn't kill you will reward an extra life instead. You're free to do this until the amount of lives you have turns into letters and symbols, hopefully enough to actually get through the game. Number 3. Wave dashing. Super Smash Bros. Sometimes a bug or animation hiccup becomes so iconic, so wide-reaching and actually genuinely helpful that developers have to take notice. Such was the case with wave dashing, the act of dodging when falling diagonally out the sky. This inadvertently forced the animation to scoot your character across the field instead, closing distance on your opponent and keeping the pressure on. First discovered in Smash Bros. Melee, brilliantly creator Masahiro Sakurai did acknowledge that he found the technique during development, but didn't think that it would affect play too much. Sakurai could not have been more wrong, and after initially removing the ability, it returned in Smash Bros. Ultimate as a proper mechanic, more fleshed out than ever across the series' biggest roster yet. Number 2. Yellow Devil. Mega Man. I don't know about you, but of all the hard franchises in video game history, I've not been able to beat a single original Mega Man. Maybe it's something about the way enemies can come at you diagonally while you're stuck in more limited movement, maybe it's the brutal checkpointing, but either way I embraced this exploit the second it came onto my radar. Because the iconic Yellow Devil is one of the first times you really feel that trademark Mega Man difficulty, and with the method of defeat being sheer trial and error memorization, pretty much the entire fandom has tried this at some point. Now, sadly you do need to survive long enough in the fight to attack a more complete version of Yellow Devil, but once you've fired a shot, hit the pause button as the pellet goes through its body and you'll do damage every time you unpause. This drastically reduces the amount of time the fight takes, hopefully allowing you to finish one of the most beloved games of all time. And number 1, Flying the Tank and Dodo. Grand Theft Auto 3. It's hard not to get all rose-tinted goggles with GTA today, as Rockstar have turned all their attention towards GTA Online, and for a lot of GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, you're stuck playing out missions in really specific stand here, do this kinds of ways. When GTA 3 first hit shelves though, Rockstar gave us a literal sandbox of potential, an experimental blend of in-game physics and our own imagination. Everybody who played at the time has their own stories of cop chases going wrong or unique stunt jumps that they found by accident, but flying the tank and dodo plane are things that we all did at some point. The latter vehicle simply was not meant to fly, but if you held a direction down while driving and waited for some sparks to appear, releasing at that time catapulted the dodo skyward, and you could kinda ride the wave of its physics freaking out to quote-unquote fly across the map. For the tank though, it was as simple as finding a long stretch of road and just firing the cannon backwards over and over until you eventually took off. At a certain velocity, the game would break and send you tumbling back down to earth, but in both of these respects, and in an era largely without the internet, realizing you could take to the skies after all was genuinely magical. And those are my picks for 8 awesome video game exploits that honestly, we all used. Let me know your favorites down in the comments below, and please check out the WhatCulture Gaming Podcast. For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com, and I'll catch you soon.